welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video I'll be reviewing the movie called A Tribe Called Judah. So this movie was written, produced and directed by Funke Akindele, and it was also co-directed by Adeoluwa Owu. This movie is a family drama and it basically tells the story of Jedidah Judah. So she's a mother with five sons. So she has five sons from five different men, and they're all from different tribes in Nigeria. So her first two sons are the most responsible sons she has out of the five, and they also like work, they try to support her and support the family, and they just try their best to help their mom, whereas the last three are not so helpful. Most of the time, some of them cause a nuisance here and there. They tend to worry the mom and all of that. Despite their bad behavior, Jedida still, treats all of them like one. She still instills, her values in them. She still continues to support them and, get them out of trouble. Things like take a turn for the worst when Jedida, the mom, is diagnosed with a chronic kidney disease, where the family needs like 80 million for her to undergo a surgery. And she also needs to undergo like dialysis every week, which costs about 100K. And considering how the family are not well off to do so, raising that kind of money would seem very tasking for the boy. Notwithstanding, they are driven by desperation in order to, save Momsy's life. They all come together and decide to rob a mall. So that's basically the gist of the whole movie in a nutshell. So now I'll talk about the cast and performances in this movie. So for one, we have Jedidah Judah. So she is played by Funke Akindele, of course. So she's the mom of these five boys. The movie opens up with her, like I think reminiscing or having a dream about what her dad talking to her basically. So she had her first child out of wedlock, I think when she was still in school or so. So because of that, her dad had banished her, chased her out of the house. So she had to leave, fend for herself and whatnot. So she is a very dedicated, very loving, sweet mom. Like she is so hardworking. She cares for her kids so much. She tries her possible best to provide and protect her children. She's like the typical Nigerian mom whose greatest ally is prayers. So she's always praying for her kids. She's always praying, like she always resorts to prayers when things don't go right. She also happens to be like a pillar of the community. You would see her in certain scenarios, she's like giving money to other women in the community to like pay for children's YX fee exam, or the other one, she's giving the woman money for her business. So she's ready to give to help others. She's a very strong, very kind, very disciplined woman. And also the opening scene in this movie is very, very funny because gets up from her bed, she carries her anointing oil and she's praying for her children, doing her morning prayers, and she's anointing her children on the picture by the mirror. And after that, just imagine, after that whole prayer, she now carries her small bottle of spirits to drink. I'm like, this woman. So it was just a funny way to start up the movie. Like we didn't get to see Funke Akindele a lot. We didn't get to see her a lot in this movie. But the scenes we got to see her, she was very, very impactful, and she wore a lot of prosthetic. She has a lot of heavy makeups, and she had so many emotional scenes, like you get teary. She had so many funny scenes that with her kids, when she's trying to discipline them. There was a particular scene where one of her kids had been taken to the police station. He was brought back. She went to bail him out of prison. She had to sell one of her kekes because I think she has a keke business or something like that. So she had to sell one of her kekes. So she came back home with him, and he was like telling his brother that this, I will not wish anybody to go to that police station. No, they are very wicked. If it was the other police station and my guys are there, they know me. This. The way she just slapped him, you're not ashamed of yourself. You're happy that you're a visitor. You're a guest from one police station to the other. That's something you should be proud of. So like little things here and there. But all you know, like the mom, Jedidah Judah, she embodied a typical African Nigerian mom. Like you could see she was trying her best to provide and protect her children. A very powerful character in the movie. So next person I'll be talking about would be Emeka Judah. Emeka Judah was played by Jide Ajufusi. So he was the firstborn of the family. He was the typical firstborn. He was protecting and providing for his family, protecting his mom. He didn't want anybody to stress mom see out. He also worked at a mall. He was a sales rep for a furniture house. So he was very like normal, typical firstborn big brother role. He was very strict when he needed to be. He would put his foot down when he needs to. He would discipline and check his brothers when he needed to. And he was also very loving and very caring towards his family also. So he was a very sweet, very diligent, very honest young man. He was the most responsible out of the bunch because apparently he and his immediate younger brother Adamu were both raised by the grandma. So I feel like she sort of instilled like strict hardcore, like she was very, very uptight in raising them. So they didn't have room to dilly dally sort of thing. So Emeka's character was one that you would enjoy watching. Like I don't think I've seen Jide Kene play such an emotionally investing role before, and it was really, really beautiful to see his character come to life. And yeah, so next brother I'll be talking about would be Adamu. So Adamu is played by Uzi Usman. So he is a security guard also. He works at the mall and he's also quite responsible. He helps him when he needs to. He makes certain decisions in order to protect the family. He's also very, very smart. He's very able and disciplined and also very, very hardworking. So he acted his role very, very well. Then the next brother I'll be talking about, that's the third born, would be Shina Judah. So Shina, his gang call him Shinene. So he is the tout in this movie out of the sons of Judah. He's the tout, he's the hoodlum, he's the street boy, he's the one that is going crazy. He's ready to scatter everywhere, you know. He's that kind of person, and his character was a delight to watch. Honestly, he's played by Makinde. His character was so exciting to watch because he most of the time there are certain scenes that he would make you smile, he would make you laugh, like subtle comic relief here and there. Because the movie had a lot of heavy scenes. So scenes with this guy was fun to watch. He was a very troublesome young man. He was very crazy. He was all about street. Apparently, he dropped out of school. He could speak bad language. He was just a street guy, like proper street guy, and he embodied that character so well. But when it was time for everybody to come together and unite, he was there as well. And also when it was time for everybody to tap into their emotions, because there were a lot of crying scenes and emotional scenes. He was also quite emotional also. So I really enjoyed his character in this movie. So the next person I'm talking about would be Pere, who was played by Timini Ebuson. So Pere was a pickpocket. He was the thief in the movie. So he was a very bad boy. He was known for always pickpocketing here and there, doing this one and stealing this one and stealing that one, sort of thing. So he was just a nuisance, he was a troublemaker. But all in all, it was nice to see Timini play a role that is not, sweet lover boy, charming bad boy. In this movie, he didn't even have any love interest. So it was nice to see his character. It was nice to see that indeed this guy is a proper actor. Like he was able to deliver his role very, very, very well. I also enjoyed watching Perry and Sheena go at each other like back and forth. Their dynamic was insane. Like their chemistry was like it was a typical, you know how you in your family you have like your brother and sister, you're always going at each other, low jabs here, insults here, that one here. So it was very, very warming, it was very enjoyable watching the whole synergy between the characters. Then last brother I'll talk about would be Ejiro. So Ejiro is the last born of the family, so he's mommy's boy. He's a lover boy. He's in love with testimony. He's a troublemaker also, but he also paints. He's a painter as well. But he's very mommy this, mommy that. He's typical last born child now. He embodied the role of a last born. Like most of the time, you just feel like knocking his head or smacking his head or just spitting sense into him because you get on your nerves a lot. But it was nice to see Olumide Owu embody this role very, very well. And yeah, so that was it. That was it for the five brothers. Watching the movie, you get to understand what happened, like what actually happened, like how come this woman has five different kids from, different men from different tribes, sort of thing. So she will get to explain that and you get to understand what actually happened. Other actors in the movie will include Testimony forward. So Testimony was a troublemaker. She was mischievous girlfriend of Ejiro, who she calls AG Baby for short. So testimony was played by Genoveva Ume. This lady is a brilliant actress, so she embodies any role given to her so well. Like there are certain clips, scenes in the movie where you see that this girl is something else. So like, but she really, really cared for Ejiro. She really loved him, and she expressed that. She showed how much she loved, like she was willing to go above and beyond for him. And it was also nice to see, the chemistry between her and her mischievous boyfriend. So she acted her role very, very well. Then the next person I'll be talking about would be Colette or Corette, like her boss calls her, who was played by Nse Epe Etim. So she was the manager at the furniture house. So she was direct boss to Emeka Judah. So she was a very annoying woman, like typical manager that will get on your nerves when you're trying to chip in like certain things here and they're trying to explain this one. She's very rude, she's very mean, she's very stuck up. She embodied her role very, very well because it's a known fact that Nsepe Etim is a fantastic actress, and it was quite different seeing her act such a role. Like we are used to seeing her act all these high class women of power and influence, sophisticated lady. But in this movie, you could see that her too, she's a hustler. She's just trying to get by. Although she speaks well, she dresses well, but it's not a usual classy role. And it was really nice to see this side of her chipping in a little bit of her language here and there. And her and Emeka's dynamic in this movie was also very, very funny to see because she was always going for him, insulting him, doing that one. And Emeka was just one sweet sales guy who should even say you're not even a sales rep, you're a sales boy. So get in line sort of thing. Then the next person I'll be talking about will be chairman. So that's the owner of the furniture house showroom basically, who happens to be Uzo Arukwe. This guy was just busting my head. He was just acting like a typical Igbo man with his funny dressing, with his mixed English and his Igbo thick Igbo accent here and there. He was a very, very greedy man. He was a crook. His scenes will make you laugh because he embodied his role very, very well. It was nice to see Chairman's scenes with Colette, who he was always calling correct, correct, correct. And also it was nice to see the scenes he had with Emeka also. But he had his own skeletons in his cupboard. So he had certain things he was doing on the low. He had things he was hiding. I don't want to give too much away because I would like you to watch and enjoy the movie for yourself. So yeah, so that's that about Chairman. So we also get to see Grandma. Grandma was, Jedidah's mom. She was played by Ebele Koro. So she was a typical Nigerian mother. She was like proper grandmother. When she came and she was smelling something, she just the way she smacked Shina's head that she stopped smoking. I knew it's you that was smoking this one, that one. So she was very, very hard. She was very strict. She wanted to discipline the boys the way she would typically discipline them. She was also quick to tell Jedida that she should send these boys, that's Shina and Pere, let them go back with her to Abba. Let her discipline them. Let her train them well. Let all these their bad habits, their bad traits. Let them get rid of this sort of thing. That is because she's like loose with them, she's free with them, she's not like strong-handed with them. That look at Emeka and look at Adamu. It's me. I trained them. I brought them up. That's why they are very responsible. Not like this boys of yours sort of thing. So, and despite all of that, you could see that Jedida was also quick to call her, like she didn't want her mom to call the boys name. She didn't want her to shame them. She didn't want her to um cast them out sort of thing. So she still wanted them to be brought up in love and all of that. So Grandma acted her role very, very well. Then you would also get to see familiar faces like Faithia Balogun, who was Mama Caro. So she played a friend to Jedida, who also lives in that community. She didn't really have a lot of scenes here and there, but she acted her role very, very well. She get to see Juliana Olayode, who played Hilda. So she also worked at the showroom alongside Emeka. So she was a colleague to Emeka. So she acted her role very well also. Then another face you get to see Yvonne Jagede, you get to see Boma, you get to see Etinosa, you get to see Nosa Rex, you get to see Greg, you get to see Pascaline. Like there are a lot of familiar faces in this movie that you get to see. Although like their roles were not so significant in the movie, but you could see that everybody delivered. Even the people that had Waka Pass roles, they sure did that one well. You get, so everything was done nicely, and we also had Ibrahim also that was in this movie. So all in all the actors delivered amazingly well. Like it was top notch performance from everybody. Certain themes that you would get to pick up or pick on in this movie is, for one, the theme of motherly love. That's the unconditional motherly love that was shown by Jedida to her sons. So you could see that she was ready to do anything to ensure that her children are okay, are taken care of, are protected. You get, regardless of their flaws and whatnot, she was there to protect and provide for them. True and true. And in turn, also, you could see that the boys also, despite all their bad habits and misdeeds, they also genuinely loved their mother. They are, regardless of whatever it was that they were doing, when she spoke, they listened. You get, they obeyed her. They didn't like take her for granted. They didn't disrespect her. They were quite disciplined to an extent. You know, she had instilled certain values, certain morals in them that you can't deny. So like with the family dynamic, like obviously the movie is a typical family movie. Is it like, it shows you like how a typical family is, you know, like you have, there are some good days, there are good moments, there are bad moments, there are ugly moments, there are ugly experiences, like all in all, but there's still that love, there's still that bond, there's still that unity amongst you and your family, sort of thing, and you can't deny the love of your family. The movie also touches on certain issues like for one, domestic violence or domestic abuse. You know, there was a scenario in the movie where, you know, this lady was being beaten up by her husband and sort of that, and Jedida was there to come and step in to defend and help her. And when she did that, just imagine, the man now turned and faced her and was raining all sorts of insults on her and hit her. Unknown to him, you know, the youngest child was there. You know, he puts a call across to the rest of the gang, calling his brothers. Everybody showed up and dealt with this man. So it was nice to see that we should not condone domestic violence, we should not condone abuse, and it also shows us um a glimpse into jungle justice. You remember there was a scene where a group of boys were about to burn somebody who they called a thief, you know, looking for matches, looking for tire, this one, that one. So it shows that these things do happen. Like, also shows that we should not use somebody's flaws against them. Because there was a comment Jedida made at some point, you know, where she got a job for Pere at the mall. So she was saying that they should support their brother regardless of, you know, what he has done in the past. You should give him a second chance. Let him prove himself to you. Like, and she also made a comment like, what happens in Judah's house stays in Judah's house, sort of thing. So you should not take your family's dirty secrets out. You should try and cover and protect each other once you're outside, sort of thing. And considering whether Pere was a thief or not, considering his bad habits, considering his pickpocketing here and there, she still tried to change him. She didn't want to cast him out. She didn't want to say, okay, because you're the bad egg, I'm going to chase you, I'm going to shun you, I'm going to leave you in police station, I'm going to do that. She was still trying to give him like second chance. She's still trying to make way for him to be better. So she was still hopeful that he would change and he would do better. It also shows that it pays to help people. It shows that your kindness goes a long way. Like little things, little acts of kindness, things you do without even meaning or seeking anything in return would actually go a long way. For instance, you know, where Jedida was always quick to help others, she was quick to, you know, give this person money, she was quick to come to people's aid. And you can see that when things went south, when people like had grabbed Perry and were trying to do this and do this to him, her friend, because of how much, you know, Jedida missed her, and because of how much that Jedida had impacted her life and the life of her family, she was also ready to like come forward and protect her family. She was also ready to step in to protect Jedida and stuff. So you can see like acts of kindness goes a long way. It will speak for you, sort of thing. Also highlights the whole single parenting thing, the stigmatization that comes with it. Just imagine the man that made the comment of that woman that has children with different men, sort of implying that she's a prostitute and that's what she's carrying his wife to go and do, sort of thing. So you could see like the stigmatization that comes alongside that, and feeling people having this impression that if you're raising a child alone, you must have done this, you have done this. Society frowns at it, society shuns it. People are quick and ready to judge you, judge your kids, judge your family, and they're always ready to say it's not because the person is brought up from a broken home, brought up by just a mom or a dad, that's why the child is this way and that's why the child is that way. And you can see that Jedida was trying so hard to not let that be the case for her boys. That's why she was going above and beyond to change that perception. To highlight that honesty indeed is the best policy, because there was a scene where Emeka found bundles of money and he gave it back, but at the back of my mind, honestly, I felt like you should have kept it, but not something that is yours. Like, no matter how desperate you are, like, you just still need to be honest. So it was just showing that side of him, that's value that was instilled in him. But I'm sure if it was Pere or if it was Shina that stumbled on those bundles of cash, they won't have given it back. It was also a scene that made me think that you can go above and beyond for somebody. It doesn't mean that this person will actually do the same for you. You do not expect people to do what you do to them. It just opened my eyes to that. Let me explain. Okay, there was a scene where I think the boys were talking, and somebody said, Perez said that he can't give the mom, he can't give mom C his kidney. That, and I'm like, but if roles were reversed, if Perez was the one that had this kidney failure, Jedida would not even think twice to donate her kidney or that sort of thing. But it just makes you wonder that you can go above and beyond, doesn't mean somebody else will do that for you. So that's just life. And languages that were spoken in this movie, you get to hear English, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, like the whole blend of Nigerian different languages. Okay, now I'll talk about like things I love, things I enjoyed in this movie. For one, I enjoyed the storyline of this movie. The storyline was very relatable. It was very interesting. It was very straightforward. It was very straightforward. It was very direct. I also enjoyed the performances from the actor. It was done amazingly well, and also the cinematography was excellent. Like, I also enjoyed the love story between Testimony and AG Baby. Like, at a point, the love waiting will start getting on your nerves, because like these children should just like we're trying to do mature people's thing and trying to make big decisions and be serious, but you just see Ejiro on one side calling his babe, doing lover boy, doing this, when we're being serious, like proper things are happening. Like, you see this one, he's just distracted by his babe. It was also nice considering how their love seemed like very, very genuine, and Testimony was also like ready to protect her boyfriend, and also giving understanding girlfriend vibes. You get, like, once everything was done and where they were like, when they gave her some money, like, to just thank you for coming through for sort of, she was like, no, take it and use for mommy's hospital bill. No, that's kind of thing. I was like, this babe. So she's actually like, she properly cares for Ejiro and the family. She cares for him. She loves him as much as she says she does. So it was also very, very funny to see all that play out. I love the brotherhood, or the brotherhood between the five sons. It was very, very nice. It was very, very enjoyable watching like their dynamic. Like, like a normal, like, typical brothers, typical sisters, the typical sibling relationship. Basically, you get on each other's nerves, you fight with each other, you insult yourselves, you do this, do that, but you still come through for yourselves. You still love yourselves. You still want to protect yourselves. So it was very, very nice. And the whole message she was also trying to pass, getting like the different tribes of Nigeria and trying to unite us in a way, so that we can actually be united for a good cause. We can actually come together and live in peace and live as one sort of thing. So that was also what I feel she was also trying to show in this movie, that there can indeed be unity in Nigeria. The movie blends different elements of drama, action, suspense. At the point you'll be laughing, at the point you'll be smiling, at the point you'll be crying. Like a lot of emotions will come into play in this movie. And oh my god, like the highlights, or should I say yeah, the highlights of the whole movie happens to be the heist, the robbery that goes on at the mall. This is the heart and soul of this movie. So the fight scenes, like everything was done very, very, very well. I don't want to give too much away, but yes, the heist was something to watch, something you would enjoy. During the heist, you'll be sitting at the edge of your seat, you'll be screaming, you'll be doing this one, you'll be that, you'll be doing like there was so much going on. Like Funke Akindele really did an amazing work on this project. Like you can see, like she put her heart and soul into this movie alongside everybody, the cast and crew members. Everybody delivered insanely well, because just look at the turnout. Like people are going in crowds, in multitudes to go to cinemas to watch this movie. Like this movie took me out of my house to the cinema to watch this movie. Like tickets are getting sold out, so it is a must watch. It is actually what the hype. Like imagine going to the cinema and the cinema is packed. Like the cinema room is packed, people have to sit by the stairs to watch this movie. You just have to watch it to experience it for yourself. At the end of the day, family is everything. You would love how the movie ended. And if you haven't seen this movie, trust me, you should see the movie. It is a must. You must see this movie. It's not something you should think about. You have to go and see the movie. Trust me, you get your money's worth. You would enjoy the experience this movie will take you on, the journey the movie will take you on. You enjoy the storyline, you enjoy the characters, you enjoy the laughs, you enjoy the costumes, you enjoy the dance, you enjoy the vibe, like you enjoy the bond, like everything. There's so much to watch in this movie. There's so much to expect from this movie. That's just it. I don't even know what else to say, but if I'm to rate this movie, I'll give this movie a 10. Honestly, I'll give the movie a 10. Like I really, really enjoyed this movie. I'm sure you can tell how much I enjoyed this movie. So yeah, Funke Akindele deserves all her flowers. She deserves everything and more. And I hope everybody goes out to watch this movie. Really, tell me, out of the five sons, who is your favorite son? For me, it would have to be Sheena, because he was amazing. I really enjoyed his character very, very well. So thank you for watching, and check out my other videos that would link in the description and in the cards above. I hope you watch this movie and enjoy it as much as I did, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.